In all honesty, I didn't want to leave Jamaica. I had to make a decision where why not try something different in hopes that I'd probably get a different result.
Welcome back to As Told by Canadian Immigrants, and if you're visiting for the first time, welcome to my platform. My name is Christina. I am your host. I am an immigrant from Jamaica, and today I am here with Stephen, who has a lot to share about his journey from Jamaica to Canada. He is part of a community or part of the Jamaican diaspora in Canada that we're going to share about later on in the episodes. But right now, we are going to hear about your story. Why did you leave Jamaica? Why Canada? Right? Leaving Jamaica is one thing. You could have gone America, you could have gone England, anywhere. So why did you leave Jamaica? What was your decision? What was around or surrounding your decision to leave Jamaica to come to Canada? Why Canada?
It's a very good question. So my decision was based on a few things. Canada at the time was extremely attractive.
Wait, when was that time? 20...
Well, the funny story is I wanted to come to Canada in 2015, 2016.
Okay.
But I didn't have enough funds at the time because I had applied to George Brown College.
Okay.
I got accepted to the college.
Okay.
But when I checked out the rest of the process, I didn't have enough money to pay for the tuition and the accommodation and to meet all the other requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to put it on pause and save up some more money and then retry again around 2019.
Okay. Okay.
Overall, my decision was based on the attractiveness of Canada at the time. So I wanted somewhere where I'd be able to get free healthcare. That was a key factor for me. Yes, free healthcare. I wanted to be able to eventually later on in my life travel. So the power of the passport as well was very important for me.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I kind of wanted a new adventure to try something different, something that I've never done before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of us, when we've traveled, we visited like the States or probably UK. I've never been to Canada before. So I wanted to try a new adventure, to try a new life here. So that's really one of the main reasons why I chose Canada.
And before even moving to Canada, what was your life like back in Jamaica? So you did all of your schooling in Jamaica, all the way up to university?
Yes.
Okay. So what did you do in university? What did you study? And then you worked for some time. You say you were saving up money. So you must have had some income of the sort.
So all my schooling is in Jamaica. I attended Kingston College. So went to KC, left KC, and then went to UTech.
Okay.
Studied IT. At the University of Technology, minored in networking. And then after I left UTech, then I got an internship at the Bank of Jamaica.
Okay.
So while doing the internship at the Bank of Jamaica, I was offered a position there to work there full time.
Okay.
Offered a contract to work there full time. So I made use of the opportunity, and I worked at the Bank of Jamaica for around 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then at that point, you were like, new adventure, something new, something different.
Yes.
All these wonderful
So
things.
even up until that time, my mind was still thinking about, traveling and that kind of stuff. Because really and truly, there were thoughts of, making a life in Jamaica, visiting different places and then trying something new. But at the same time, things weren't going as well in Jamaica. The affordability, the cost of living, that kind of thing. So I had to make a decision where why not try something different in hopes that I'd probably get a different result from what I've been doing so far.
Right.
So that was one of the key decision making factors for me.
And did you have any family in Canada? Was there anything in Canada that was pulling you here, or any encouragement?
Actually, no. I didn't have any family in Canada, and I didn't.
Friends?
No, not even friends.
Wow.
Not even friends. So the friends that I have here now are people who came to Canada from Jamaica. And we've maintained that friendship here.
Yeah.
And the new friends that I've made as well is through church.
Okay.
So continue going to church, yes. Made new friends at church, and from also different conferences that I visited. So I try my best to go to IT conferences and stuff just to
Okay.
keep myself updated with the industry and my profession and that kind of stuff. And I'm able to network and meet new people. So just one of
Networking.
the
If it's
things
the
for me.
first video you're watching from me, you probably won't get it. But if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know that I'm big on networking. We've met through indirect networking.
Yes, that is true.
Indirect,
That is
right?
true. That is true.
Very indirect, but still networking, right? So very powerful thing to enhance your experience, your career, anything in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny because they said that in Jamaica, some of the changes that you wanted were like, okay, cost of living and stuff like that in
Yeah.
Jamaica. And I think maybe this is part of maybe a later episode, but your expectations for, okay, I'm leaving Jamaica because of these challenges surrounding maybe cost of living and such, and going for greener pastures, so to speak.
Yeah.
What were your expectations of Canada before you got here
Mm-hmm.
when you were leaving because of those reasons?
The expectation was that it would be somewhat a bit more manageable, a bit more exciting, a new adventurous experience where I'd be able to have access to the things that I'm always seeing online but not able to experience within Jamaica.
Okay. Fair.
So these are some of the expectations that I had. Trying new things. I like building and making stuff as well, but aside from that, like, importing stuff, going through customs and all that, it was so difficult when you want to create things and building that kind of stuff. But I'm here now, and the things are just, it's access right.
2-day shipping.
Yeah, I know, I know, right? Or even over there, it's just access right in front of you like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps your mind to grow. It helps,
Creativity,
yes, it helps your experiences to evolve into something more than what you thought it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of things coming together, actually.
Cool. All right. So now you said that you were looking at school, you're looking at George Brown early in your Canadian dream.
Yes.
And then you kind of put it off. So then now, time to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it is. Was it the money in the bank that said, okay, now it's time?
So actually, it was because of multiple reasons why I had to make the decision at that moment. So part of what I didn't say is that initially when I chose to come to Canada for George Brown, my plan was that I'd come for schooling, spend around a year after, and then go back home.
Really?
Yes.
That's unconventional.
Yes. In all honesty, I didn't want to leave Jamaica.
Okay.
I really, really love my country. I didn't want to leave Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to leave Jamaica. So the plan was that, you go get overseas education, because when they see the overseas paper, quote unquote, it's easier to get jobs,
You look shinier.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that was one of the key things for me to get overseas education.
Okay. In IT?
Yes.
Okay.
But leading up to and after that time, no. I think I want to phrase this correctly.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a glass ceiling that people don't like to talk about in Jamaica.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So when you get to a certain level and you want to advance yourself, it's hard to push above.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a few of that, and there was some resistance. But I had a few of those situations back home.
Okay.
Where it led me to make the decision where, you know what, maybe it's time for me to not limit myself, but to try and explore what else is out there. Not temporarily, but maybe a bit more longer than a temporary leave. So that's one of the reasons why I actually made up my mind to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you pull the trigger now, so you say, boom, I hit a glass ceiling, got it. Get new environment somewhere else where there is no ceiling or there's a higher ceiling.
Yes.
Then you have enough money in the bank now, so you decide that, okay, are you going to pursue George Brown again? Was it George Brown that you?
No, so
Change
this time I made a change. So I did a reassessment of the different colleges, right?
Okay.
I like Toronto. I don't want to leave Toronto. I don't want to go to the country areas.
You've never been? How you know say you don't want to go?
I still don't want to go.
You come from Kingston? It's like you come from Kingston?
No,
Kingston?
man, it's Portmore.
Okay.
But
Barn and Grove?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I don't want to. I heard stories about the Alberta, the Winnipeg, and I just can't manage the country areas. No offense, very nice places, very beautiful places, but I like the city life. and I like to be able to have access to different things that are happening, people, events, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
To
each their own.
Yes. so Toronto was always on my radar. So when I reassessed and looked at across most of the colleges across Toronto, Durham College stood out for me.
Interesting.
Yes. So I pivoted, and then I checked out Durham, and then I applied for their cybersecurity postgraduate program at Durham College.
Cybersecurity postgraduate program. I like that you mentioned that, because there is somebody who was here in teaching. She's a teacher. Yeah. She's like way different from cybersecurity. And she was pursuing PSW, like a personal support worker program, but she really wanted to go into cybersecurity. So it's good to know that Durham College has a cybersecurity postgraduate program.
Yes.
1 year program.
Yes.
Nice. And cybersecurity, especially as technology continues to evolve and be more and more part of our lives, will become more and more in need and in demand.
So true.
So that's good.
So true. So true.
Field. Okay, so you said, all right, Durham College, you're going to do that. So what were you going to do at Durham, at George Brown?
At George Brown, I selected, what was it? It's something IT, it's IT based, but it wasn't cybersecurity.
Okay.
So I think it was more something along like a networking or something along the lines of what I did previously at UTech.
Right.
But then the good thing is that I developed a love for cybersecurity throughout the span of that time between my George Brown application and applying at DC. Throughout that period, I found out about cybersecurity. The movies are just so intriguing. I got the chance to work in the security department at BOG as well. Gave me a new, open mind to new experience. Kind of whet my appetite, and it made me want to learn more. So these are some of the things that kind of helped me to kind of pivot over to IT security.
And what comes to mind is that maybe thinking that you didn't have enough money to go to George Brown at the beginning and having to wait a little bit was like divine redirection.
I know, right?
Right? To lead you down the right path.
Yes.
Because sometimes I say, all right, I want to go to Canada. What am I over there? Let me just take up what I have and study what I have, versus really getting into what it is that you have a passion for, what it is that you like, what it is that will help you in the future.
Exactly. Because really and truly, sometimes we make decisions to let's say, oh, yes, I want to come to school, and some people may not really want to come to school.
They want to come to Canada.
Yeah, they want access to Canada, but the school route is one way to get access. But what I'd recommend is not only just select school for school's sake, but let the decision be, yes, I'm doing school, but make sure it's something beneficial in the end, that you can use it to take another step. So it's a double win. You're in here, plus it's something that you like and something that you can use.
Don't just study anything. Don't just study something. Don't just put on the list. And I'm telling you this not because like we got it right. It's because that's how I started. I started out with an immigration consultant, and I went down the list and I was like, oh, graphic design, that looks cool. I'll just do that. And then he was like, maybe just look again. And he redirected me. I'm like, all right, fine. Project management. All right. And thankfully it worked. It works well with what I did before, but it can go awfully wrong. Like the person who was interested in cybersecurity was going to do a PSW program just because of Canada. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that, right? Miserable in your own country is miserable in Canada. Okay, Canada isn't going to solve your problems. All right, so now you go to Durham College, do your cybersecurity thing, a 1 year program. Yes, then you get your postgraduate work permit. Any challenges getting your postgraduate work permit?
So honestly, no, there
no hurdles.
no hurdles at all.
How about finding a job?
It was a struggle. It was a struggle, right? But it wasn't a terribly difficult struggle. It was more a struggle of patience, and having faith that things will work out. So a lot of times the issues, sometimes the issues that we face is because of lack of preparation and planning, right? The good news is that when I finished school, Durham College had a PGWP workshop. They had this I think every month or so, every last Thursday around that time, where they'd have the workshop. A guy would come on, he'd go through the steps of doing the PGWP application.
Okay.
So that is one of the things I made use of that opportunity, and I did my application. I followed it, so I asked questions and everything, just so that everything can do smooth, right? So Yes, there's also the alternative of using YouTube videos and stuff, but having that interface where you're
Yeah.
able to, I selected this, but I don't really know what it means. What does it mean? And then he takes the time to
Somebody to
explain and that kind
respond.
of stuff.
Yeah.
It really helps. So I made use of a couple of those workshops, and I put my application in, and I just sat on it, and I waited until I got my job. Then I just applied.
Oh, I did that.
Yes, yes. That's a little secret that we need to share with some people.
Yeah, I'm sure lots sort of like discreetly though, because of the black and white. We know what's in the black and white. We know what them say.
Yeah.
I will not tell her nothing to what them say.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
all right, so postgraduate work permit, you got your job. Now the clock is ticking. You have 1 year to get it right.
Yes.
I did this too. And a lot of people are asking that question, does a 1 year program still work? And I have different comments about that. No, versus 10 years ago, or even versus 3 or 4 years ago. So you have your postgraduate work permits, you're working, and your pathway or desired pathway is through express entry.
Yeah.
Were you concerned about your points? Were you seeking advice? How did you feel? Because this would have been what year?
So this would be around 2022-ish.
Oh, last year.
Yeah.
What? Why does it feel so? You only just come here.
Oh, yes, I just got here.
So you came at the beginning of 2021, January 2021 is when you started?
Honestly, I'm hoping that I'm getting the dates right. Old age, sometimes I can't even remember things,
Yeah, you see, talking about old age.
Oh my gosh.
You're calling me old, old.
Yeah. So I started the program January 2021.
Okay.
So in COVID.
Oh, from home?
Yes,
online.
From Jamaica.
Okay.
Online.
Okay.
So, and when I came into Canada was when they reopened the border and everything. Yeah. I came into Canada June 2021.
Okay.
Towards the end of my
And you're
program.
A permanent resident already?
Yes, towards the end of my program. So that is when I came up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in working now.
Yeah.
And at what point did you join the express entry pool?
So what I did was I came into Canada June 2021.
Only because of going out to school online and that provision. But you had already started school in January.
Already started school in January, right?
So you came 6 months or so.
Yeah. Then when school was done and I graduated,
that would have been in August, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I got my job November.
Oh.
Yes. So from like around August, September, October, I was applying, sending out applications, calling people, networking, meeting new people, all that kind of stuff. Got a few interviews, got turned down for a few of them, but eventually I got through with one of the interviews. And my previous working experience from back home kind of helped with that as well.
Okay.
So work experience does help. Jamaican work experience does help up here. And certifications as well. So when I got the job in November, there was an active effort to get the IELTS out of the way and to do my WES.
Yes.
And I jumped in the pool around March 2022.
Because you were waiting on Canadian experience class.
Yes. So the key to the 1 year program most people don't realize is you have to be preemptive. You have to be eager. You have to jump ahead of time with certain things, right? So there's no need to wait for the CEC. You can jump in as FSW. Right? So it's better to be in the pool and wait and hope.
Yes.
Than you just sit and wait for CC and then go in. So I sat in the pool, I waited, didn't have enough score, but I knew that as soon as the 1 year hit, the score would automatically update. And then luckily, as soon as I went, I got to the next November, the score updated, and then within like a week or 2 weeks, I got picked.
Yes. And when would your work permit have expired?
My work permit, okay, so that's another good news, right? So when I sent in my PGWP application, you get the temporary work permit, which would be the overnight one, the one that IRCC sends.
Okay,
yeah.
Just saying, hey, paper, you can work.
Yeah. The paper saying that you can work until we assess all of your credentials, everything, all your requirements, and then when you meet it, you get the official one, right?
And you submitted in November.
Yes.
And processing time was probably like 4 months.
Yes.
So you got 1 year and 4 months.
Yes. So this COVID thing was a blessing in disguise, right?
Yeah.
So it was 4 months for me in which my expiry was March 2022. So the real one, I got that March 1st. So that's when the official work permit started.
Yes.
So I already had 4 months, around 4 months work experience.
Yes.
Until I got a new one. Until I got the official one. So the official one would have expired the next March
2023.
Yeah. So by the time I worked my 1 year, I still had enough time left on the work permit.
Yeah.
You know, so everything kind of worked in my favor.
And it was kind of calculated, like a calculated risk.
Yes.
To kind of submit the application. Because this is what I did as well, right? Because I finished school in August. I got a job in September. So my study permit was going to expire in November. So I just waited. I waited to submit my, because at that time processing time was 1 month.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was gonna get it real quick.
Yeah.
So I delayed submitting my postgraduate work permit.
Yeah. So that's one of the key things that most people don't know is that, especially 1 year programs, you don't jump and apply for your work permit as soon as school is done. Because if you don't have a job, the time is running off for your work permit. So you technically, you wait until you get a job. Then you
what you can do within reason,
Yes.
given the black and white.
Yes.
The black and white says we're not telling you not to follow the rules.
And then, as long as you're in status, you'll be fine.
You're in status.
As long as you're in status, you'll be fine. But take the time and find a very good job, and then when you get your job, you push it.
All right. So now you're in the pool. You did all you need to do, right? So basically, after you finished school, and then once you got your work permit, that is when you kind of dealt with, or between that time, you dealt with your World Education Services Education Credential Assessment, and you did the English test. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because some people, I just met somebody recently who, at this point, they are at their end of their work permits. Their work permit's going to expire in January. And they haven't, January,
Yeah.
they haven't done their WIS and they haven't taken their English test. Right?
Why not?
Well, she misinformed. She just thought that after you work, you go to school in Canada and you work in Canada and you just apply for PR.
No.
So that's why I'm asking these questions, for the benefit of you who are watching. If you have not, don't have a full idea of the process, my book lays out the entire process from start to finish to give you an idea of what needs to proceed, and things to prepare yourself properly. And you're watching this video anyway, so you're prepared. So you're in the pool now, hanging out, and you get called after your 1 year anniversary or before?
After, actually.
Oh, you said this already.
Funny enough, it was actually before.
It was before. Because you know what? I think I've been told that the thing kind of chip in at the 10-month mark.
You are correct. You are correct. I was surprised because guess what? I was waiting for the next November. So I got the increase in score and everything. I didn't even know.
In 10 months. Yeah.
I didn't even know. So it's around like the 10, 11 month time. I got the CEC. I was quite surprised. So I guess it pays to jump in early and to be preemptive and to be on the ball with certain things, right? And information isn't scarce. We need to look, we need to research, we need to watch videos to keep ourselves informed. So I think that's one of the key things.
Okay, cool. All right. So we are going to wrap this one up, and then we're going to pivot into you, Mr. Representative, local representative for the Global Jamaican Diaspora Youth Council. He's only been in Canada for 2-3 years, and he's involved on a big enough level to be the representative in Canada for this region for the Global Jamaican Diaspora Youth Council. So we're going to find out more about what that community is, what that even means, what it means to be the local representative, and how that community can be a part of your transition into Canada. So right now, that's going to be episode 2. So make sure you check that out. These episodes are going to come out every Sunday. So stay tuned for the next episode next week Sunday, and if you are watching this and it's already out, binge watch this entire series to find out more about this JGDYC and hear more about Stephen's story. We will see you. Remember to subscribe, like, share, do all the wonderful things, and we'll see you in the next video.